if you describe water, how would you describe water to me if I didn't know what water was? Clear. That's the first thing you see. It's clear, right? And you could use the word what? Wet, right? Yeah, it's water. So how much is water worth? How much would you pay for this water?
Nothing.
Not too much, right? You wouldn't pay too much. I'm going to set that there right now. But what if I told you that water in some places in the world is one of the most precious things that can be found? Now, does everybody live in Kansas? Yeah. Okay. So in Kansas, how precious is water? So this is my 8th summer here, and God has given us a very nice summer. Would you agree? It's been spectacular. We've had some rain, right? But what happened 3 years prior to this year? We were in a severe drought. It was getting, for me, because I'm not from Kansas, it was scary. Like, we live in Hutchinson, and it was so dry, I was afraid that everything was going to burn up, and we got horses and goats and that kind of thing. So we were having to watch and leave somebody at the house sometimes, because if fire went through there, what would happen to all of our animals and our property? Be gone. Yeah. There was a fire about 3 or 4 years ago in Hutchinson, and some off of Beulah Road and, what is that, Haven Road? It went through there so fast that people had to jump in their ponds and save their life. So water takes on a whole new meaning if you consider the context, right? So right now you've had something to eat, you've had something to drink, you've got some AC. So this water is not very valuable to you. But if you didn't have much water, I guarantee you, you'd be paying a lot of money. You would do a lot of things to get that water. So we just got back from a trip. I'm going to use this globe real quick. We went from Kansas, I can't see the line here, so I'm just going to guesstimate. We went from Kansas all the way over here to Washington. We went through Washington and Oregon. But to get there, we had to go through a lot of terrain. So we left Hutchinson, actually we left from church. So my house in Hutchinson, what do you think the elevation above sea level is at my house?
9,000.
9,000 in Hutchinson? I'm not on a mountaintop. What do you think the elevation right here at the church is?
550.
Somebody look that up. What is it at the church? Because I didn't look it up. At my house in Hutchinson, I thought it was very impressive until he answered. It's 1,640 feet at my house. Because in Hutchinson, what's underground, if you've ever been on that tour, what's underground in Hutchinson? The salt mines, right. So we're on a salt plateau. So I thought Hutchinson at 1640 was pretty impressive. But as we were traveling, we went 3,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 7,000 feet. The first place we spent the night was in Laramie, Wyoming. We were over 7,000 feet. Now, how many of you have gone from Kansas to 7,000 feet in like a few hours? Did you notice anything about your breathing? Yeah, I didn't take that into account when we were plotting our thing there. So let's talk about deserts and let's talk about water and the relationship, okay? First off, though, let's go ahead and let's start with prayer. Let's raise our hands up to the Lord. Hands over your eyes, close your eyes. Hands over your mouth, close your mouth. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you for this time. We ask that you would speak to us truth, Lord God. I pray that you penetrate our hearts and our minds, Lord, with your creation and your truth, Lord God. Help us to understand and appreciate all that you've made, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I'm going to touch on a little bit about what Raven has told you, but we're going to go a little deeper. Who wants to go a little deeper? Yeah, I like to go a little deeper. So up here, I have a lot of specimens. Who likes specimens? I'm going to let you, I'm going to let you handle a whole lot of what I've got up here. There we go. So, what is a desert? By definition, a desert gets no more than how many inches of rainfall or precipitation? Yes, no more than 10 inches per year. Now, I want you to think about this. Since January, Wichita, Kansas has received how much rainfall? Since January. Roughly. They're over 21 inches right now. They're over 21 inches. We're in record rainfall. This is superb for me because I'm not from here and I'm not from the desert. So it's interesting, 21 inches. So would Kansas be considered a desert? No, but Kansas is arid. Can you say that word with me? Arid. A-R-I-D. Say it with me.
Arid.
Arid. What does arid mean? An arid climate. Is it wet or is it dry? It's a dry climate. That's exactly right. What if I told you that there's more than one kind of desert? Remember how I asked you a few minutes ago if you wanted to go a little deeper? What if I told you there are at least 5 different kinds of deserts, and some would say 7, some would say 12. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Does a desert always have to be hot?
No, it can be cold.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about how can a desert be cold. But I want to give you these facts real quick. Ready? So, the Promised Land. Has anybody ever heard about the Promised Land from the Bible? Can you tell me about the Promised Land? What is the modern day Promised Land? It'd be Israel, exactly. So if we look at Israel, and I wish I had a little bit better map here. If we look for Israel, what are we going to find? Israel, is that a massive, big place, or is that a smaller landmass?
Smaller.
It is small. It is very small. But that is the most sought after land anywhere. Why would that land be so important? It's the land of who? Yeah, it is the land of God and God's people. God promised that land, and that's why we say the promised land. Okay, of Israel's landmass, and I wish I had a better picture of just Israel, but I'm talking about a little teeny tiny space. How much of Israel's land is considered desert? Not all of it. That would be extreme. You said it. 60%. 60% of Israel's landmass is considered desert land. Do people live there? Yes, they do. And we're going to talk about what they do for water. Now, modern day Israel is a little different. Some things have changed. It is a very varied. It is a very temperament, and it is a very topography. Can things grow in Israel?
Yes.
Absolutely, things can grow. There's almost nothing that can't grow in Israel, somewhere in Israel. Okay, now here's very important. During Bible times, well, let me back up for a minute. You know how we were casual about this water? It's not really worth all that much. Well, in Bible times, the amount of water that a grown man had to use was what percent of the water you use today? So you're going to go home. How many people are going to probably bathe tonight? Shower or bath? How many of y'all have enjoyed at least one glass of water? Anybody got any animals to water? Yeah, your dog, your cat, your horse, whatever, exactly. What else would you do with water? Clean yourself, right? What else do you do with water?
Swim.
That's a luxury. Right, yes. I didn't hear you. Mop the floor. So you would do your cleaning, exactly, clean yourself and clean your property. So in Bible times, a grown man in Bible times would only have at his disposal about 10% of the water that you have. That's it. He wouldn't get any more water. What could you do with 10%? If I cut your water usage right now down just to 10% of your normal, what could you get done? Not a lot. So in Bible times, did they bathe every day? No. Did they wash their clothes often? No. So in Scripture from the Bible, when the Lord tells them to wash themselves and wash their clothes, that was a really, really big deal. That was out of the ordinary. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that was not the norm. Now let's talk about the 60% of Israel's landmass would be considered desert. In America, Raven gave you a statistic. Now I have to differentiate because we're going to consider some things. I'm going to consider, when I give you the world, I'm going to give you the entire world. That will include the North Pole and the South Pole, okay? So in America, how much of the land, just in America, do you think is considered desert? You're close. You're close. Okay. 10.81% of just America, I'm going to pass it back down here, is considered desert. But now I got to add to that for a minute. That is only including the contiguous. Does anybody know what contiguous means? That means what's right here in landmass. But America has how many states? Has 50. So who are we missing here? We're missing 2. Who are we missing? Hawaii and Alaska. Exactly. So if we throw in Hawaii and Alaska, now it's going to get a little tricky. If we're at 10.81% of landmass here, we're going to bump all the way to 18% of the landmass if you throw in Hawaii and Alaska. Do you think Hawaii has a lot of deserts on it?
No.
No. It does have some though, which is very little, very tiny, because it's a series of islands. Yes, baby? In just a minute, okay? Just a minute, we'll get you. Yes. Okay, in just a minute. Now, if we throw in Hawaii and Alaska, that jumps to 18%. How many states in the United States, here, just the contiguous United States, do you think deserts touch? Out of the 48 down here, how many states do you think the desert touches?
12.
Good guess. A little less. Anybody? It touches 9. It touches 9 states. Could anybody name those 9? If you name those 9 on your own, I'm going to give you something. I won't even tell you what I'm going to give you. I'll find something good to give you. You want to try 9? Okay. Yes? Yes. Arizona, Nevada.
California?
Yes. California. Ooh, I know, right? You would think that it would touch. There's probably a tip there that goes into Wyoming. I'd have to double check on there. Keep going though. Utah, yes. Colorado, yes. He's doing very good. Very well. New Mexico, yes. He's doing awesome.
Where are we at?
I know, where are we at? 6. She's counting. Okay, good. Keep going. Texas, yes. Wow. That's impressive. That's impressive. Well, hang on. He's still at it. He's calculating. I can see. He's calculating. One is a little odd. It's up there. But the angle. I know, right? There's definitely some arid in Montana. Move left by 1. He knows his map. He's calculating in his head. You should really study the map of the United States. You should know. Say it. No, go left. The other direction. You know what? He did so well. I'm still going to give you something. But I'm going to add to it. So Idaho is very strange, and I don't have a really good map here. Idaho would be right here. That top upper left is going to be Washington State, and underneath of that, can anybody tell me that state?
Oregon?
Yes, Oregon. Oregon has desert in it. Absolutely. So I think that's our 9, isn't it? Did he get them all 9? That is awesome. Oh, what's she got here? Let's see what she's got here. Oh, excellent. Okay, very good. So, what are the states that it would hit? California, Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Idaho, that's 8. Wyoming, it has to hit there. It has to hit that that edge. So you were correct earlier. So that is that our 9? Did I count to 9? So there's a couple. There's the Rocky mountain range here, and then there's also the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Now, some of our deserts that we're going to talk about. Thank you, honey. Might keep that up here for just a second. They're created because after a mountain range, oftentimes you'll find a desert. Why would that be after a mountain range? The mountain range, okay, so let's talk about precipitation. What is precipitation?
Rain.
Rain is precipitation.
Snow.
Snow is precipitation.
Ice.
Ice can be precipitation, sleet, exactly. Yeah. Water products that come from the sky and drop down. That is precipitation. Most common would be rainfall. So in order to get rainfall though, as you see these clouds coming in, what color are the clouds for rain, typically? They get gray. Do they look light and free, or do they look kind of heavy and puffy? They're heavy. What are the clouds heavy with?
Rain.
Water vapor. Water vapor. And that cloud, the cloud is a sponge. Let me see if I can find a sponge. I don't have a sponge. But just pretend like.
What about this?
Okay. So a cloud is like a sponge. And it accumulates water vapor, moisture, from evaporation, from some other processes, the water cycle. And that cloud takes on more water, thank you, and more water, and more water. And it gets heavier and fuller and heavier and fuller. And then what happens? It gives us its precipitation. But let me ask you something. If I'm a cloud and I'm floating along, and I see an ocean, what's going to happen as I pass over that ocean? Every body of water on earth, say this after me, every body of water on earth, every body of water on earth evaporates. What does evaporate mean? Yes. Okay, so the water cycle of the earth has a lot going on. Yes, Teddy. Okay, so as the sun beats down on that body of water, does the temperature go up or the temperature goes down? The temperature goes up. And that evaporation process takes place where that water it condenses, right? And it becomes water vapor. And what happens to the water vapor? It rises. Okay? What happens to water vapor? It rises. If water vapor comes down, what is that called? Well, it can be rain, but what is it if it's just a little bit? Like if you have a difference in temperature with day and night, on your grass you'll have what? Dew. Did you? Yes, absolutely. So that is also that water vapor. So I want you to think about this real quick. If we have a mountain range, and I'm a cloud, I'm going over the mountain range, am I picking up any water? No. Matter of fact, right before that mountain range, so let's think about this too. A mountain range is higher than the sea level or lower than the sea level? Higher than the sea level. Higher air at elevation is warmer or colder? Cold air does not lend itself to precipitation. You know why? Because that cloud is squeezed. It cannot hold the same amount of precipitation or moisture that a warm weather front. Does that make sense? And so as I'm coming toward a mountain range, if I'm a cloud, I don't have any moisture to give you right after that mountain range. So you know what we'll find very often? After a mountain range, we'll find a desert because there's no moisture to deliver to that land after a mountain range. Okay, now here's a question. Are all oceans warm? Has anybody ever tried to go swimming in Oregon or Washington State? You might freeze to death. How about in the hot, really warm, sunny July? It's freezing, okay? That water is very, very cold. So when the clouds go over cold water, guess what? They're not picking up moisture. They need what to pick up moisture? Warm water, hot water. The hotter the water, the more precipitation you're going to get. Does that make sense? Okay, in the United States, the desert land, desert meaning less than 10 inches of rainfall annually, covers 3.8 million square feet of land. That is a lot of land, isn't it? Now, if you throw in, you know what, I talked about that a little bit. Worldwide, how many continents are there? 7. Of those 7 continents, including the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, what percentage of the entire world is considered desert land mass? That's way up there. That's way up there. It's about higher than that. Nope, too high.
35.
Close. About 1/3 or 33% of the entire land mass of the globe is considered desert. Now, I want to talk to you about different kinds of deserts. I honed in on 5. Number 1 is hot and dry. Can you say that with me? Hot and dry. That is your typical desert. That's what we saw on the screen there. Very, very hot during the day. The temperature does drop at night, but it's still very hot, very dry. Now, she mentioned something earlier about cloud coverage. Do deserts typically have cloud coverage? Because what does it take to make a cloud? Because we use this sample of a cloud coming along and picking up moisture. But what is a cloud? It's moisture, exactly. So there's not hardly any cloud coverage in deserts. Hot and dry desert. What do you think in the United States is the highest recorded temperature in a desert?
60%.
Higher. And this is Fahrenheit. Ooh, no, not that much. Close. Yeah. Very, very close. 134 degrees. Have you ever walked out of your house and it been 134 degrees?
No.
Where do you think in America that was recorded? It was in Death Valley, which is part of the Mojave Desert. Now, typically, it's not typically 134. What's a typical hot day in the Mojave Desert? What? 120 degrees is normal. Can you say that? 120 degrees is normal. I don't know the answer to this, but has Kansas ever reached 120? I know it feels like 120. I don't think we've reached 120. Now that would just be the temperature. Can you imagine the heat index in that? It would just be crazy. All right, so hot and dry desert. I'm going to skip a little bit of stuff. Now, the coastal desert. The coastal desert, can you say that with me? Coastal desert. Same principle as going over that mountain range. If you have cold coastal waters, can you say that with me? Cold coastal waters. After that, the land mass, because the clouds don't pick up the moisture, even though if you have an ocean in that water, in that moisture, aren't you going to have a lot of water? Have we got a little one that's having trouble back there? Okay. So if you have an ocean, don't you have a lot of moisture, a lot of water? it's not accessible. Does that make sense? You don't have the same level of evaporation going on. The clouds don't pick up the same amount of moisture. So if you have cold coastal waters, can you say it with me? Cold coastal waters, the land mass after that is going to be what? Desert. That's exactly right. So hot and dry desert, coastal desert, then there's semi-arid deserts. Can you say that with me? Semi-arid desert. I told you earlier what arid meant. Does anybody remember what arid means? Dry. So if you're semi-arid, that means you're semi-dry. Is Kansas semi-arid? Parts of Kansas are definitely semi-arid.
It has reached 121 degrees.
In Kansas.
In Kansas.
Wow, 121 degrees. When did that happen, did it say? I can't even imagine.
July 18, 1936.
Wow. I hope it never does it again, or I don't live here when it does it. Okay, so now let's talk about something that, put your hands down for just a minute. So we had hot and dry, we had coastal, we had semi-arid. Now I'm going to just blow you out of the water. I'm going to teach you about a desert that's called what? Cold desert. Can you say that? Cold desert. You ever heard about a cold desert?
Yeah, Antarctica.
Exactly. And we're gonna examine that. What is the main thing to determine if it's desert or not? Rainfall. So if you're having 10 inches or less, well, it's actually under 10 inches. That is a categorization for a desert, right? So then if you go to the Arctic Circle here and you go to the Antarctic, well, they got all that ice and snow and all that water. How could that possibly be a desert? The same principle I was describing before. If you have cold water, you're not getting any new precipitation. Now, I'm not going to get into this right now, but I want you to think about this for a minute. Something had to happen to put all of that ice in the Arctic Circle and Antarctic, because we don't have new ice being made all the time. Now, with that said, last year, 2023-2024 winter, hang on just a minute, baby, added a gargantuan amount of precipitation to the Antarctic. And scientists are baffled. You know why they're baffled? Because when they drill down and they get those cylinders of ice that they store, they study, and they say these are millions and billions and hundreds of thousands of years old, the narrative doesn't check out when you have record amounts of ice in 1 year made. Tons and tons of ice was made. Not this winter, but the winter before. So you know what? Always look at the data and always be an investigator, because don't just believe something because you're told that it's true. Okay, so any question on a cold desert? There's cold desert and there's polar desert, yes.
Watch out. Get up. Move.
How does what? I can't hear his question. How does it turn cold? Because it's the tilt of the earth and the exposure to the sun that determines how hot or cold you are. By the way, we've had a little shifting with some things going on. It's going to be very interesting biblically with what we're talking about. Now, we've talked about temperature, we've talked about water. On a desert, however, whatever kind of desert it is it just plush with vegetation? No. Why is there not plush vegetation? There's just not enough water to sustain it. That's exactly right. And in a lot of these deserts, it could be 120, 110, 105 during the day, and that sun is beaten down. There's nothing to give you any shade. But at nighttime, what happens? It can get very, very cold. You can even go from 100 or plus degrees in the day and below freezing at nighttime. So if you were going to take a desert expedition, what would you need to pack?
Pack for what?
If you were going to go on a desert expedition, if you have these extreme highs and these extreme lows, you'd have to cover both of those, right?
Big old hat.
Yeah, and you need what? A lot of water. You need a lot of water. Your body, so about how many pints of blood is in an adult body? Any idea? Or liters, you could do liters. Pints. Anybody know in the typical adult body? More. So the typical adult body, oh my word. No, the typical adult body is going to have anywhere from 5 to 8 liters. 5 to 6 is your normal. So what portion of that blood is water? A great deal of your blood volume, it's way up there. So if you don't have water, your organs can't work, right? So you're getting a whole lot of water on that. Now, let's talk about wildlife for a minute. Are there animals in desert environments? Of course there are. There's adaptations, absolutely. So what kind of animals thrive in your typical desert environment? Reptiles, some reptiles, yeah. So, exactly. Yes. Did you have an answer? What did he say? Absolutely, that's exactly right. Yeah, and they don't just exist, they thrive, right? Those animals thrive. All right, very good. Let's talk about, I wanted you to meet my friend over here. So this is not a desert animal. This is, and the head is missing, just so you know. This is all one snake. This is a red-tailed boa. So I want you to look at this guy. Look at his belly scales. So this is actually a shed from a Colombian red-tailed boa. He is not a desert animal. But I wanted to bring him and show you. He's in pieces. This is all one snake. And his head shed is not there. So how long do you think this snake really is?
Like 9 feet long.
It's very,
16.
I have to be very gentle with it. They gave it to me and it was all balled up. So I painstakingly preserved him, but I didn't get the head shed. This is a very long little girl, okay? She's a girl snake. I got her from the zoo right in Arkansas. But I wanted to talk to you. I brought her because I wanted you to talk about snakes in the desert. Are there venomous snakes in the desert? Yes. Are there non-venomous snakes in the desert?
Yes.
Absolutely. Both of those animals thrive there. Is there every single kind of snake found in the desert? No. No. There's only certain ones. I'm not going to go into every single one of those. How about, so if there's animals living in the desert now, okay, and we talked about up here, all that ice, something had to happen to put all that ice there. They needed some way for a lot of moisture to occur. So if you've been here before, I talked about the woolly mammoths and the mastodons. They, in their stomach, they have tropical foliage, and even some of the fossils in their mouths, they have tropical foliage. Something went on in that region, you hear what I'm saying, prior to the flood. So let's move to fossils for a minute, because I got some up here I want to show you guys. So fossils. Do we find fossils in deserts? Now, if you had a class with me before, we talked about the process of fossilization. For something to be fossilized, okay, can you say that? Fossilized, we need rapid complete burial. Say that. Rapid complete burial, no scavengers,
No scavengers.
no oxygen,
No.
and pressure. That's how we get fossils. So after the flood and after the ice age, we have a lot of fossils. Every single continent out of those 7, we find fossils. So do we find fossils in the desert?
Yes.
Now a desert doesn't have the water necessary to make fossils. So how did fossils get in every single desert on Earth? Did you hear what I said? Every single desert on Earth, we find fossils. The flood, exactly. You've got to be able to reason some of this stuff out. How did it get there? And then, what kind of fossils do we find on every single continent?
Teeth.
We find different things. What was the answer? Teeth? We do find teeth. A certain kind of fossil. Okay, let me show you this real quick. What kind of fossils? Actually, this is a fossil. These are not fossils. These are just specimens. But this is a fossil. Can anybody tell me what kind of fossil this is? Do what?
Starfish. Sandal.
Sand dollar. Who said sand dollar? Exact. This is a fossilized sand dollar, and it's pretty hefty. Okay. The rest of these are just specimens. I will let somebody, one of my helpers, you can handle some of this. Be very careful with that star. Be very careful.
Just let them look.
Yeah. You can just touch it, not hold it. So what kind of specimens are those? What kind of environment does that come from? Comes from the ocean, so we would say those are marine specimens, right? So on every single continent of the earth, we find what kind of fossils? Marine. In order to have marine specimens or marine fossils, what would you need? You need an ocean, right? Well, if this is a desert, is it an ocean? No. So how did those fossils get there? You said it, exactly. Where are we at on time? Okay, very good. Oh, really? Okay, well, we gotta speed up then real quick. So I wanted to show you guys, I personally has anybody ever gone to Utah, to Kanab, Utah, Moab, that area? Okay, I want you to, I need a strong helper. They can run their fingers. This is sandstone, and I want you to look at this. These specimens are just breathtaking. I mean, they are just breathtaking. This is actually a coaster that they made out. If I drop this on the ground, it will break. It will break. And if you rub this hard enough, you could actually kind of dislodge that. Down in here, there is this red sand. I want you to feel that with your finger. It is so soft. This is all examples of sandstone that comes from that desert there at Kanab. They cut into that. There's these huge walls of waves of sandstone. Now let me ask you something. Can you make a wave of sandstone in millions of billions of years?
No.
It's a wave. It's one action. You can see them all over Kanab. I mean, they're just absolutely breathtaking. Let me see what else I need to show you. Oh, what do you think this right here is? I'll take the anybody want to guess what this is? These are all samples. What? Jalen? What do you think this is? These are all, quote, fossils. There's another word we use for them. What do you think these are? What do you think these are all samples of? This is all petrified wood. Good job. Very good. This is all petrified wood. Now let me ask you, do we find, remember we don't have a whole lot of plants in deserts. Do we find petrified wood in deserts? Absolutely. Here we go, honey. They can lift it up. They can. Some of those are sharp, so just be careful. Not all of them. That's the petrified wood. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, here, what we do. I'm going to do a couple of these. So, has anybody ever seen these guys right here?
Did you see that this was?
Desert rose, yeah.
Oh, ammonite. So this guy, he slipped in there. But he is also, this is also a fossil, and I do have an ammonite necklace I usually wear. So this, does anybody know what this is called? This distinctive pattern. Anybody? What's it called? Not a
Made
stone.
of rock.
What do you think it is, Debbie? Yeah, well, not quartz. It's called desert rose, which is what? What mineral? Gypsum. Can you say that? Gypsum. Okay? So, and I put a little thing here, formed by the precipitation of sand and gypsum. So they look like little roses. And if you pick this one up, you see that crystal right there? They're beautiful. They just form, and you can scoop them up. I'm gonna let somebody take this around. Coda, you wanna take this around?
Wait, so you find those in the desert? You just find those in the desert and you pick them up?
I mean, yeah, if you're lucky, yeah, sure. Because yes, absolutely, you can. Now let's talk about this real quick. I have a lot of rocks and minerals up here. Do you find rocks and minerals and gems in deserts?
Yes.
Absolutely you find them, absolutely. Now I'm gonna let Jace walk around and show you some of these minerals. And you can see those. Yeah, don't touch. They're just gonna look at that one. Absolutely. And I'm gonna also send this amethyst. This amethyst right here is so pretty. Oh, he's too pretty. Yeah. Two. I was gonna see what specimen. Carter, come here for a minute. I'm gonna give this to you. This is amethyst. You can keep that. You can keep that. Here you go, Miss Randy. You wanna take that whole thing? Okay. Isn't it beautiful? The amethyst? No, it's okay. No. Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. So another mineral I want to show you guys is this calcite. This just happens to be called dragon scale. Dragon scale calcite. This is one of my favorite specimens.
Sit down and calm down.
And something that's really cool is even though it's kind of jaggedy, it's soft. It's smooth. So he is calcite, dragon scale. These are quartz crystals. All these are found in deserts. All these. And here's some more calcite that is actually multicolored. You can take this one too, honey. Yep. They're beautiful.
This looks like I'm cutting this.
It's okay. And I want to talk to you real quick about this. And we may get a field trip soon. If you go to Cherokee, Oklahoma, my family dug every one of these. So these are called silonite crystals, okay? Yeah, have you been?
Yeah, we went to the salt plateau.
Yeah.
Where should we just go?
Just make a spot. Yeah, I kind of changed things around.
Yeah.
So these are formed in sand environments, and they're formed in Cherokee, Oklahoma. Yes. No. I'm gonna get a helper. Coda, you want to show them? Now you have to be. These aren't terrible delicate, but they will break and snap. And some of these. So you see how that's one crystal growing into another? It's called a crystal cluster. The clusters can be enormous. Now we weren't lucky enough to find any huge ones, but you can go for free in Cherokee, Oklahoma to the salt plateau, and it was a body of water that has evaporated, and the salt mixes with the sand, and that makes those silonite crystals. Let's see.
I do kind of want to.
Okay. All right, so Jace has asked me about these. Where do you think I found this? What is this, by the way? What do you think this is? What do you think that is? A nest. It is a bird's nest. And it's an odd little, let me see. Look at the process. Isn't that beautiful? This was in my yard. Isn't that fantastic? And you can really look at that. It blew off in a storm. And what do you think this is?
Dead snake.
It is a snake skeleton, yeah. I found this guy in Kannapolis. Yeah, and I retrieved it. And I haven't washed him or anything, so don't touch him. But yeah, that is a snake skeleton. You see him?
What does it smell like?
I went sniffing. I mean, he was out in the open. But what do you think these little things are called there? Yeah, isn't that, yeah, this is ribs. Isn't that amazing? Now this snake, was he a little bitty snake or he had some length on him, didn't he? Yeah. So cool, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, be careful, don't touch this, don't touch this. Oh, I didn't get the head. Yeah, isn't that super? It's really well put
Yeah,
together.
definitely put that skeleton.
No, this was a bird nest. Yeah. Don't touch the skeleton. Okay, did everybody get to see it that wants to see it?
The reason why you don't want to put the skeleton is because it
Yeah, it could, absolutely.
Sharon, 2
Yes.
minutes.
Okay, very
And
good.
this is after I added more time.
Oh, okay, very good. I know, anywhere we could go. Okay. Let me show you one more thing, because I'm out of time. I'm going to show you 2 more things. This is heavy. I'm going to have these guys hold this because it's a little bit heavy. These are the same thing. Turn around and show it to them. These are the little ones, and he's got the big ones. And if you've been here for Dinosaur Day, you already know what these are. These are fossilized what's? Bones. They're fossilized bones. These came from, actually all of these came from Florida, so they're part of the Ice Age fossils.
He'll come to you.
So let me ask you. Yep.
Jim's not worried. Okay. We're coming. We'll come around.
I know, here. Jason's being overtaken. Now, if you touch that dragon, you have got to hand sanitize. So we're gonna need some hand sanitizer, Molly, because we had some touching. And somebody's spilling water. Okay, let's go back to our seats real quick, back to our seats. Yeah. I just want to tell you one more thing, because our time is up. She's good. She's just having a good one. Those bones, they belong to a variety of animals. But let's talk about dinosaur bones for just a minute. We're talking about deserts, right? Do we find dinosaur bones at deserts? Yes, we do. Not all of them, but some of them. We absolutely do. Now, one more thing I want to talk about really quick. In the desert, during Bible times, since water is so scarce, there were 3 main ways that they got water, other than rainfall falling down on them, which was not a lot. Does anybody think they can name those 3 ways that they got water? Well, Teddy nailed it. It is God. But what's the process?
Rain.
They get like buckets of water from oasis.
Okay, when they could find one, so I'm going to take that answer and we'll call that springs. Some were underground, most of them were underground. So springs is one. Springs was common or uncommon in the desert?
Uncommon.
Very uncommon. So if you found a spring, you really found something. There were 2 other ways though that they got their water. And if you know any Bible, there's a lot that goes around one of these things.
Lakes and
Not lakes. Who else had a guess? Who had a guess?
Touch any rocks? Touch any rocks?
Is anybody not on,
teeth.
what are you pointing at?
It's okay. Teeth. Don't worry about it, Miss Sharon.
Okay.
Hunter made it.
Okay. So, does anybody not have city water? Anybody not on city water? We're not on city water. If you're not on city water, how do you get your water?
Well,
A well. So we had springs and a well, and there's one more thing. Can anybody name that one more thing? Yes, in the back. Can you name it? Can you name it? Well, we did say if it's not falling on you. Miss Lynette.
aquifer.
Aquifer is what you tap into, or the water table, But this particular thing is not that. Anybody? No. It's a weird word. Just for time's sake, got any more guesses? Can you say this word with me? Cistern. Cistern. Anybody have any idea what a cistern is?
No. A sister.
What do you think it is?
Somebody else in your family.
Oh, not sister. That was funny. Not sister. Cistern.
That was a really good
Can you
guess.
say that with me? Cistern. Cistern. T-E-R-N. A cistern comes in a lot of varieties, but during Bible times, if you were lucky enough to find a spring, any very little precipitation that fell on you, a well was the most common, and a cistern. A cistern, they would do a couple different ways. Are y'all still paying attention? They would dig down and they would have a container. They would either build the container, have the container, and it was set to collect the rain runoff. And it had a cap and a cover, and that kept it from being decontaminated. All right, very good. I didn't get to talk about a well and what we do at the well, but we'll have to just save that, right? Or do you want that?
No, we can't.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you guys.
All right, what do you say to Miss Sharon?
You're welcome.
All right.